All right. Today I was originally gonna work out in the garage, but my dad was like, "Hey, I'm gonna work out outside," and it's raining, and I'm like, "Shit, okay, I'm gonna work out outside too." So, brought out the parallettes, put up the bar between the rings, and just got to work. Did 10 sets of 10 reps for dips and pull ups, so that'd be about 100. Well, chin ups technically, so 100 chin ups and 100 dips. When in regards to the form, I'm not doing like perfect picture perfect form, wherever the case may be. I'm doing kind of like quarter rep, half rep here and there, switching up different rep style variations dependent on the set in general. The whole workout took about 40 minutes or so. I did have to kind of like put prioritize rest times because and technically I'm doing more reps, right? If this were like my usual workout, I would just be doing like 5 reps of chin-ups and 5 reps of dips, and it wouldn't take that long. It would probably take like literally half the time. But since I'm kind of doubling up by just by doing the double amount of reps instead of 5, now I'm doing 10. That kind of almost increased my time by more than half. I also did like 2 sets of leg raises at the end, of course. And yeah, that was it. That was the whole workout. It didn't take that long. I did make sure, like, I always have like a piece of paper or like some type of like notepad or something like that where I write down tally marks so I can make sure I can keep track of my sets. If people, any of you guys that are watching that are kind of following like a similar program to mine or anything like that, definitely make sure you keep track of how many sets you're doing, especially if you're going to be doing something over like 5 sets, right? Because that's kind of hard to keep track in your head. Doing 3 sets, that's you 1, 2, 3, boom, yeah. But 10 sets, like you have to kind of start writing that down, or even 20 sets. Some people be going stupid. But one thing I definitely like to try and do over time, of course, is to decrease the amount of time it takes for me to do this. So kind of just like, one day being able to see that I can do 100 chin ups or 100 pull ups and 100 dips or 200 push ups, whatever, right? Within 30 minutes, and then decreasing that to 25, and then all the way down to even 20 minutes or something like that, right? If I can consecutively do those back to back to back to back. In regards to the rest time after each set, I did about what I think I did a minute 30. If I needed more rest, I just do 2 minutes to 2:30. And by the time I got to my fifth set, which was halfway, I was around 15, 16 minutes, I think. But then, of course, over time, I kind of had to make sure I kept increasing the amount of rest time that I had. Um, in regards to the rest time, I just had to make sure I breathed. Um, the amount of rest time I would have would kind of correlate with how that set went. What I struggled with the most was the chin ups. When I found that I was coming like a little too close to like failure or struggling, I would increase the amount of rest I would take, because it's like, I don't, if I'm going to be doing this daily, right? If I'm tomorrow, I'm going to come out here again, or in the garage, wherever I'm going to be, and then I'm going to do more pull ups, right? I want to make sure I can still do pull ups without going to failure, without my lats, without my biceps, without my forearms or my back being sore or in fatigue, right? Because if I just try and do more and more work whilst I'm already fatigued, because I went to failure or I went too hard, then that's just gonna lead to injury. And one way to try and make sure you don't approach failure at all with a movement, for one, is you have to know how many reps you have in the tank when it comes to approach getting to failure anyway. So let's say your max amount of push-ups is 25, right? But you want to do push-ups every single day. So how about you cut that down and eliminate 10 of those reps, right? So now you do 15 push-ups or something like that, right? And then if you want it even easier, you can break that down and then maybe do 10 reps. And then you can do 10 sets of 10 reps. That's 100 push-ups, right? And then if you separate it like that, that's literally 100 push-ups every single day, just separated by 10 sets of 10 reps. And then if maybe one day you want to go back and see your max or whatever the case may be, here's my father running. He said he wanted me to record him, so I decided to add him in. He's doing like these drills and stuff in the background. But in regards to that, right? So you want to have your reps and your sets on something to where it's attainable, right? Maybe you still want to do 10 sets, but you can't do 10 reps of any given movement, then decrease that, right? When it comes to super clean chin-ups, right? I can't faithfully do 10 sets of 10 clean reps of chin-ups. So I would decrease that down to 5, right? But when it comes to kind of like fast pace chin-ups or shorties or whatever, or cut range of motion, half range, 3/4 range, whatever the case may be, I can easily get to 10, right? And that's what I'm doing here. That's my form. I'm not too worried about like, getting full entire range of motion or whatever the case may be. But one problem here I had, just specific to my setup here, since it's not stable, it's not planted to the ground or anything like that. I kept swinging around when I was doing my chin ups, and the same thing yesterday when I was doing my pull ups. But again, just kind of like adjust to your own level, right? So I can say that I can do 10 dips and 10 chin ups for 10 sets and gets to 100, but maybe you have to do 5. Maybe you have to get that down to 5 dips and 5 chin ups, and then maybe only just 50, right? 10 sets of 5, right? Or if you still want to get to 100, you can try, maybe you can try and do 20 sets, right? 20 sets of 5, right? But that's like a lot, and depending on your work capacity and just your level, it might be something super difficult to maintain. Since it's like that's just gonna gas you out unless you kind of want to set it up as like 2 workouts. So it's like you do the first 10 sets earlier in the day and the second 10 sets later in the day, or however you want to do it, unless you just want to stick with the 10 sets, right? And then just do, shorties, and then technically you'll be able to get more reps in that way. But again, when you're a beginner, especially when you're a beginner, things are going to be more based on quality over quantity. So you might want to get a rep number, but take more pride in your form. I know, maybe I'm not the one to talk because I'm literally going like half range of motion, fast reps, but that's just because I want to do that. I specifically want to do that. And if you want to too, and even if you're a beginner, if you want to just do, half range of motion, go, bro. Go ahead, bro. No one is stopping you. I don't care. I don't care at all. But like if you want to mix in those full ranges of motion, definitely do that because I think it'll help with mobility. It'll help with like straight arm strength and stuff like that. And then of course you'll still be able to build strength in those greater ranges of motion. But if you want to do the shorties or whatever, and if you like the fast paced, bouncy, like, elasticity of those short ranges of motion, then, go ahead, right? I'm going to do them. I'm probably going to keep doing them for a good little bit because I just like the way it feels. But yeah, so when it comes to getting to, literally 100, right? In my, when I was a beginner, I never thought that I could do something like, literally 100 pull-ups and 100 dips, right? In my mind, maybe a year ago, I feel like that probably would have taken me like an hour or like 2 hours or something to do. But it takes me 40 minutes, 44 minutes. And it helps a lot to see like my own progress, right? And then one thing to mention, so I like to keep like a stopwatch. So you should definitely have like a stopwatch or some type of timer going off in the background, just so you can kind of know how long your workouts take. A lot of people ask me how long my workouts are, but they're not that long because to me individually, I have a relatively good work capacity. So it's gonna take me 30 minutes to 40 minutes or whatever. But you could take like 50 minutes to an hour. So definitely have your own stopwatch set up. But yeah, thank you for watching the video. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.